Welcome back everyone. Who needs brakes? Well, this one does, that's for sure. So let's have a look at this one and see what else comes through the door. Everyone's favourite brakes on these. These are literally bleeding. We're dripping out here when the customer dropped it off. So this is DOT fluid. Lever feels like a block of wood. On the other side is just exactly the same. Just ruined. So needless to say, I'm not repairing these. These are coming off and a full set of Shimano brakes are going on. Nice easy job this one. I've done 3 of these this week, so here's another one. Full set of Shimano brakes, MT410 calipers, I think they're 400 levers. These are from sportandleisure.com. I ordered 3 sets of these last week, next day delivery, and this is the last set left. Just smashing through these. Can't go wrong, these are about 45, 50 pounds, something like that. I can't remember what I paid, but not bad at all. All right, let's make a start. Wheels out. Oh, Jesus. Easy said than done. Free neck. That's a little bit excessively tight. Yeah, and the front one equally tight. These wheels are in a bit of a sorry state, but they're actually okay technically. The rims have got a lot of corrosion on them, but they're not split anyway. I've inspected them both while the customer was still here. There's just a lot of surface corrosion around the nipples, but there's no splits, so I think we're okay. Obviously we're going to put new rotors on as well, and new bolts. Look at the state of these. I mean, they're probably in spec, but yeah, they're coming off. There's a lot of corrosion all over the bike. The customer did say he's in need of somewhere better to store his bikes, and he's not wrong. Look at the state of it. Corrosion literally everywhere. Anyway, it's all coming off, fortunately. Don't need this anymore. Super easy, everything's externally mounted on this. So. And again, a lot of corrosion on the back. We've got a rack that's going to be a bit of a hindrance, but we should be okay. Interesting cable guides. Right, let's get this rubbish off. On a mission to rid the world of as many of these brakes as possible. That's terrible. You can fix them, don't get me wrong, you can fix them. You can get upgrade kits for the pistons in the brake levers, which gets rid of a lot of the issues, but it's just no point. The cost of them, one cylinder I think repair is more than the cost of this full Shimano brake system. So what's the point? Oh, let's get these funky bar ends off. Oh, my camera won't focus, it's just focusing on finish line. Focus, damn you. I'll try and get these off with compressed air. If you just get your air thing under there, blow them. They'll just come off. Like that. Get this absolutely destroyed lever off. Oh my God. Dead. That's terrible. Goodbye. And get these off as well. Gone. So that's all the old stuff off. Very basic tools you need for that. 5mm, 4mm, and a Torx T25. Just rip it all off. And then we can make a start fitting some shiny new Shimano. Right, let's get some new ones in. Like I say, these have come with brackets, but I'm just going to use the old ones, I think. So 180, I'm going to use the 160s that are on there because I've got a pair of 160 rotors here. They're not included with this set, but you can pick up a pair of rotors for around about £10. Amazon, anyway, really, they're not expensive. Obviously you can spend a lot more, but comes with new bolts as well with the rotors. Right, so we're using the existing 160 bracket. I've just changed some fresh bolts in here, cleaned all this up a little bit, and we just bolt the caliper on basically. Don't fully tighten it yet because we've got to align it with a disc, obviously. Well, it's not going to fit because there's fouling on this bracket, which is annoying. Let me see if we've got a different bracket. So this one and this one, they're both 160 IS mounts, however, they are different profile, very slightly different. So this is the one I've just tried on the bike. When you line those top holes up there, it fouls on the caliper here. That's no good. Try this one, line the top holes up, and we've still got a bit of clearance there, so that's good. So it's on now, no problem. I know some people would just file off a small amount, but I can't really do that on customers' bikes, unfortunately. Again, on the back one, just using the existing bracket. And this one's got loads of clearance, we're okay. Mud guards and a rack in the way. And get the back it off ever so slightly so you can move this when we get the wheel back in, centre it up. Right, let me get this up to the bar. I do like this bracket, literally just put it in there and twist it and keep going up the frame. Like that. Normally you'll have little plastic clips, you can replace them with cable ties if you want. And the last one here. Well, that was easy, wasn't it? So the front one has a normal one here where you just cable tie it or clip it in there. Like that. Easy cable tie gun if you got one. Like that. So, this is obviously the lever for the front and the lever for the back. And as you can see, these hoses are way too long anyway, so that's why it's not a problem when these are the wrong way around. You're going to end up cutting them anyway, guarantee you. You can just wrap it around the head tube and stuff. I've seen people do that, but don't do that. So I'm just going to tighten these up level now because we might need to do a quick bleed as well. Because we're obviously opening the system to trim the hose. Slip these off. Push these all the way down the hose because I guarantee you're going to forget to put them back on otherwise. Open these up. If you are doing this, you'll need a replacement barb and olive. BH59 these are. Fortunately, I've got thousands of them, but again, they're only a couple of quid if you need to get them. If you buy a Shimano box retail product, you'll get spares in there. As this is sort of non-retail product, you don't get them unfortunately, but you do save a lot of money in the process. I think it's basically factory overstock and stuff like that. Loads of people do it. So if you get Shimano stuff and it comes in a plastic bag, don't panic. It's not fake. Alright, so you're out. Just pull this out now. Like that, and the system is open. And pull this one out, and we need to swap these over and trim them. So that's technically the rear one for UK there. And yeah, it's a little bit on the long side. So get them somewhere where you want them. I'm going to mark them up where to cut. Front one could be nice and straight. Doesn't matter when you turn in the bars, it's not putting any tension on it. Push your lever down to where it's going to live. And we're going to cut that around about there. The rear one, you need to be able to turn your bar. Turn the bar, and if it's putting a lot of tension on this hose here, it's not long enough. That looks pretty good. We're pretty much way past 90 degrees there. If you're going that far, you've gone a bit wrong. And mark that up again. Again, push this nut all the way down, because you'll forget that as well. Trim your hose. These are my new Nipex. Absolutely fantastic for this. Beautiful cut. Wow. And that goes to my front. I'm just going to put it in there, keep it out of the way for a second. Cut that one as well. I'm going a little bit longer just to be on the safe side. Then obviously we need to fit new barbs and olives to this, which is pretty easy as well. Let's do that next. I normally just put the olive over the hose first because sometimes when you put the barb in they can be very, very tight to get up there, so get it in place first. BH90 seems to be okay, but BH59 I've had it where they've been really, really difficult to get over. Just push the barb in a little bit just to get it started. Then you'll need something like this to push it all the way in. You can use little plastic blocks and clamp the hose in a vise and hammer it, but so it just feels a bit sketchy to me. Clamp the hose in here. And I normally keep this olive around about 1 millimetre from the end. You should be able to move afterwards, but like I say, sometimes you find them super, super tight, and that's pretty much where it wants to live when it's done. And we're just pushing this barb all the way in. This is off AliExpress again, super cheap these things are. Just push it in until it's flush with the end. And that's it, just stop. Undo this. And that's that. And remember to put these further down there so you don't forget, because I guarantee you're going to forget that. Right, then it just asks you to put a little bit of grease on here. I do specify Shimano Premium, so that's what we'll get. Realistically, probably any grease will do you. I'll show you what this does. Push that all the way in. Oh shit, I just pressed that lever. Push that all the way in. Get the thread started. I don't know if you noticed a lot of dripping then, but it's because I leant on this lever and pressed it while it's an open system, so this will definitely need a bleed. Anyway. Alright, so just check your routing for this front hose. That looks really good where it is. And I'm going to show you a little trick. This is another one of these. Basically cut in half, cut all this off. Just want the half of it there basically. And what you use this for is to stop the hose twisting when you're tightening up the flare nut. Somebody put a comment in about this and it was a brilliant idea, so I've just blatantly copied it and modified it. So if you don't do that, basically all you're doing then is tightening the flare nut and holding that. If you don't do that, this hose just ends up twisting and looking a right mess. So this will keep it nice and straight. Stop leaning on that lever shirt. You can use a torque wrench with a crow's foot. I've got one, but I never use it. There you go. I know how tight they need to be. So I take that off now, and that hose is super straight. Clean up that. Put that on, and that's that one done. Beautifully straight, perfect. Same to the back one now. Again, I'm just going to hold this while I tighten that. I'm holding this now because I feel that twist in that hose. That goes on there, and again, perfectly straight hose, beautiful. You get your grips back on. Just gonna use some lacquer on these. They're a bit worn, but I think they've got a bit of life left in them yet. This is just a clear automotive lacquer. Just spray it inside. Get it on quickly before that dries. Right, gotta leave room for that bar end, don't forget. Get your 90s bar ends on. I've got a set of bar ends to go on my bike now. Finally got some. I'm doing an update video on my titanium mountain bike that I built. Had a bit of a shakedown and I've got a few issues just to sort out. Not really issues, but just fine tweaks. Right, got some new rotors as well. Get them on the right way around. Clearly tells you the writing is facing you. So before we can get these on, we're going to give the system a quick bleed. So because we've opened the system at the lever, we do need to bleed it. It's going to be really interesting because this rack, I need to get the pads out, it's in the way for that. I need to get to the bleed port, it's in the way for that. So I'm just going to have to spin this out of the way. Give me a second. Take the pads out. Don't be tempted to bleed it with the pads in. It's just, no, don't do it. You can end up changing the level of fluid in the bladder. And basically when someone goes to bleed it properly the next time, you blow your diaphragm in the lever. Well, this is why you see bikes going around with hoses that are a foot too long, because people don't want to bleed them. Connect your bleed syringe to this. It's a Shimano one, so it pushes on there beautifully, holds itself in place. 3mm bleed port here, just crack this open and close it again. You can see it's pretty tight. I'm bending the Allen key. Keep going now, like that, and just nip it back down. Then we need a bleed cup on here. This is where it's important to get the lever level and the back end of the bike lower. Bleed block in, I'm literally just pressing the syringe now at the back. That's pretty much it. Like I say, it's only normally where you've just cut the hose, just 1 or 2 bubbles. And that's it. And just close this port. Like that. Put your bleed block away, pull this out. So you put your bleed block back in before you do this, but you need to burp this lever. Feels nice and solid. And we just need to rotate this lever or the bike through different angles just to make sure there's nothing else in there. Whichever's easiest for you. Just do the lever on this one. Just slacken that 5mm. And we just tilt that down. Burp it down there, tilt it all the way back. Nothing coming out at all. Done. Put that back in, unscrew it and get your plug ready. Put this back in. Not too tight, look, that's 2 fingers. That's more than enough. The O-ring's doing all the work. Quick wipe down and that's done. So I've just got to tighten this lever, put my mudguard back together, bleed the front brake, and then we can get the wheels in. Be back in a minute. So the front one's bled, wheels are obviously back in. Now it's just a case of centering these and getting them bedded in. So just do that for now. So these bolts are loose. It's just a case of looking this way or through the top so you can see equal amount of light either side of the pad really. If you're a rack of mudguards in the way, let me tell you, it's a pain in the arse. Right, I'm going to have to move the camera because I can't see what I'm doing, sorry. Alright, not too bad. I think that wheel's got issues to be honest. Pump the lever, just keep pumping it sort of 10 times and it'll just settle the pads to where they want to be. That lever feels fantastic. And obviously works very nicely. Like I say, I think this back wheel does have issues. I'm going to take it back out off video and go through the hub because there's something definitely not quite right there. But anyway, here again, we're just trying to get this clearance equal. Obviously a massive gap on that side. Just pull this caliper over. It's not tight yet, that's why it's sitting crooked. Once it tightens it down, it'll level it up. Right, that one pretty quick and easy, that one. If you're one of the internet gods where all you do is squeeze the brake lever on and do this, then fair play to you, but let me tell you, 99% of the time that does not work. And there you go, just pumping this lever to settle those pads in. Good, a little bit of a rub still, but I'll sort that out later. Then you just need to bed them in. Obviously I've got a fancy bedding in machine, but you guys are not going to have that. So just sort of go up to about 15 miles an hour, brake until a sort of walking pace, don't lock the wheel up, repeat that 20 times, and that's pretty much bedded in for you. That's what most manufacturers will give you as a guideline. Just don't go straight out there and start locking up the wheels. Just let it bed in. All you're trying to do is put some pad material onto this rotor, and that's helping the brakes to work basically. But yeah, get them bedded in. Very important that you do that. Otherwise you're just going to have a lifetime of below par brakes basically. So just take 5 minutes, get them bedded in. All right, done. So if you need new brakes for your bike, why not check out the video sponsor, Sport and Leisure. So quick pause to say thanks to Sport and Leisure for sponsoring today's video. They didn't supply those brakes, the customer paid for them via myself. So there's nothing worse than being right in the middle of a job though, only for everything to come to a grinding halt because the part you ordered said it was in stock. It wasn't in stock, was it? No. Weeks away sometimes. And that's exactly why I use Sport and Leisure. They're based right here in the UK. The stock levels are 100% live, says it's on the shelf, ready to go. Get your order in before 3 PM and it's dispatched the very same day with free delivery on all UK orders. If you need it faster than that, next day delivery is only £2.50, which is what I did, which is brilliant when you just need to crack on with the job. So they've also updated the channel discount scheme for you. Head over to sportandleisure.com/BCR or scan this QR code on the screen right now. It'll generate a 10% discount at checkout off your first order. Makes these brakes even cheaper. So if you're buying parts anyway, it's an easy way to save a bit of cash. So the link's in the description below. And thanks again to sportandleisure.com for continuing to support the channel. Right, we've got some shiny new tools to look at next. And next up, we're looking at a new tool. So I've got a new bearing puller to have a look at from AliExpress. You've probably seen this on a couple of other sites. I've not used this yet, but it looks nice, doesn't it? Anyway, we've got a wheel in that needs some bearings changing, so I thought now's as good a time as any to give it a go, see what it does. Let's have a look at this wheel. Yeah, it looks really nice. These bearings definitely seen better days. Some side-to-side movement in the bike as well, so normally I just take the rotor off and the cassette just to give you more access to everything. It takes 2 seconds and then get into the bearings itself. That. Get this off as well. Okay. This is a Vitus own brand hub, so who knows who makes it. You've got to work out how to get it to pieces. So there's a massive Allen key socket in here. That is massive, 12mm that goes in there. So I'm guessing they want me to hold that. I've probably seen cone spanners, yeah, so cone spanner flats on here, so you can normally work it out pretty easily. Let's get a spanner on here, and then it should just unscrew like that. Like I say, you'll probably struggle to find instructions for own brand wheels like this, but it's normally pretty obvious clues like that big massive Allen key socket there. That comes off. That axle, I'm guessing, will just push through like that. So there's one bearing. We can service this free hub as well while we're here. Put the puller to another test as well, that'd be good. And another bearing in here. Alright, so these are the ones we need to get out with my new fancy puller. Let's see how we get on with that. Let's have a look. First step, measure this. 14.8, about 15 then. My favourite. And then, select the appropriate size piece. The only problem is, when it arrived, a lot of these had fell out. I've just put them in random holes and it doesn't actually tell you on the tool which size is which. So that'll be the right one. And then it says screw onto here. Like I say, I've never used this tool before, so anti-clockwise, left hand thread, like that. There's a hole in here for a 5mm Allen key, like that. I'm guessing all that does is just expand this inside the bearing when you turn that. Yeah. So I was pushing this rod through the end, which will expand this inside the bearing. Right, we'll get it in the wheel then with its spacer. Add that on there, drop this inside the bearing, tighten your Allen key up until it grips the bearing, which it is now. Like that. It's all guesswork, I can't be bothered to read the instructions. Spin this down until it goes onto there. I'm guessing you just unscrew this one, we'll take the bearing out. Feels like it's pulling it. Something's happening. There you go. Well, that's pretty damn easy, wasn't it? Yeah, impressed with that. Good stuff. It'll come off and then the bearing just comes off. Oh yeah, super easy really, guys. Well, quite nice that is. The main reason for this is when you've got a centre sleeve like this one's okay, but some of the hunt wheels and other ones, that they actually lock to the back of the bearing pretty much. So you can't get anything to access behind there, and that's why you would use this puller. Basically a blind race puller really, so it will work extremely well for that, but it clearly works for any bearing really well. Just to prove it weren't a fluke, I'll do this one as well. So unscrew that, drop the sleeve on, drop that into the bearing, tighten this down until you can feel it locking into the bearing. I can see it as well, so that's locked in there, no problem. Spin this down, alright, and then just unscrew this top one again. Yeah. Pretty dang good actually, quite like this. Drop the Allen key back down there and unscrew that out of the bearing. And that's it. Cool. So these are 6902. Let me see if I've got any. Should have hundreds of them. Yep. loads. So we'll do the freehub while we're here as well, may as well. Need them in there. I'll just give all this a clean up and then we'll get these pressed in. Get some grease in here just to aid installation. Same on this side. Just use the part tool press to press these in, so you've got the drift and the bearing. Get that in there. Don't forget your sleeve if you had one. Another bearing. And then these. It's a bit just clips on the end there. Then wind them in nice and straight. And you just wind it in. Hold one end with the Allen key. And just push it in nice and straight. Take your time. Any resistance, anything hard, just stop because it's not going in right. They should go in very easily like this, like that, and that's just stopped dead there. So don't go any further. Take that out, and that's that. That's the 2 wheel bearings in. Look at the free hub now. Should be pretty easy with this tool actually. Let's have a look. This is literally just going to slide off here. It's well in need of a service anyway. Look at this. Well, there's the axle. So there's a bit of a seal there, and you can see one bearing, and there's a centre sleeve and another bearing at the bottom. So they're the ones we've got to get out. Get this seal out first. We'll clean up all these pulls and grease it as well at the same time. Wow, what a mess. These seals normally come out pretty easily. Normally. Yeah, like that. So easy. Like that. There's the first bearing. I'm guessing they're the same size on this one actually. Another pair of 6902s. This is the sleeve. You can move this one, but quite often you can't move that one, which just makes it really, really difficult. So normally what you would do is you push this to one side there, flip it over, and you can use a punch to punch the edge of the bearing through there, get the sleeve out, and then punch the other one through here. We'll try and pull it out instead, see if it's any easier. Not that that's difficult, but that's how we go. So it's the same size as what we've already used. Tighten your 5mm into the bearing, wind it down, and then you just wind in this top handle out again, and it'll just come straight out. I can feel that already. And there it is. Yeah, I'm quite impressed with this. Take your sleeve out. And we've got another one down here. There's the circlip on this one, so make sure you take that out first before you try and pull it. Big set of circlip pliers here. Get that out. Like that. Tighten that Allen key and that'll just expand that wedge in there. Like that. Don't need to go crazy tight. And then it'll just pull. And that'll just pull that straight out there. No problem. There's the other one. Very, very easy. I want to find out, however, if they sell these as spare parts. Because if one of these gets damaged, let's say this one, the most common size, then that's basically the whole set is of no use whatsoever, unless you can buy these as replacement parts. So I do need to have a quick look at that, see if they're available as spares, because if they're not, that would be a bit disappointing. So I'll have a look. So just having a look in the box, you've also got these pins, and I wonder what they were for. So I read the instructions, imagine that, shock horror. Well, that's for, if you've got a bearing that's broken like this, it's stuck in the frame, this is just the outer race of the bearing, so all of the rest of it basically fell out, collapsed, etc, etc. So you'll be left with this in the race, and they're very, very difficult to remove those. The idea of this, got some holes in there, so there's 3 pins, you put that in there with the 3 pins, tighten the centre of the tool, and the pin will grab onto the curved part of that race there, get a hold of it, and basically just pull it out. Really good actually. So just select which size it is basically. It's a small clamp, big clamp, and then there's loads of different size pins depending on the outer ring idea of the bearing here really. So you just select whatever size you need. So you can see if that was in the hub there, there's basically nothing to hit or pull against really normally. So being able to grab the internal on that radius there would be fantastically helpful. So I don't have anything I can demonstrate on at the moment, but well, that would be really, really good. I like that. I'll just wind some new bearings into this free hub. Do the first one. Obviously you've got to get the circlip in, and put your sleeve in, and put it back together. Alright, so this is Shimano free hub grease. All you need is a bit in here where it pivots. That's it. Use oil if you want, make it a little bit louder. I'll just get a little coating on my finger as well, just run it on the outside of the body, tiny bit. And get the pulls and the springs back in. So you literally just drop in here, then you go one way. Probably get them another way if you try it hard enough, but it's pretty obvious where they go. And the spring just hooks over the top of that. And this bit is where the spring stops and starts, so literally just peel it around there. Like that, it'll just drop in. I'll just get a little bit of free hub grease on my finger and run it around in here as well. Just a little bit. That's that basically. We've got the axle, get a bit of grease on this again. That drops through the free hub body. Like that. Don't forget this spacer. Get a bit of grease on this as well, both sides. Like that. And that's ready to go in the wheel. And it just pushes straight through. Just wind it backwards just to engage your free hub poles. Wow, that had me scratching my head. Wouldn't go together properly. This free hub was sitting sort of 3mm away from there. I could not for the life of me work out why. And then the penny dropped. So I've used this puller again to pull this top bearing out, which is another added bonus of it. You can pull it out without damaging it. And what I've done, remember I said don't forget that spacer. There's two different spacers. One's for the free hub and one is for the hub. So I put the hub one into the free hub, which meant this was sitting 3mm or so too proud. So I just got to swap them over. Wow, that had me scratching my head, that did. Jesus. Right, that one goes in there, not that one. Wow. This is just impossible. Penny dropped. Jesus, never done that before, ever. We'll try again with the right spacer this time. I honestly thought I was going mad then. Drop that through there. And then fit it in the hub. Again, just remember your pulls on there. Oh look, it's in the right place now. Honestly, it was sitting like 3 or 4mm proud. I was like, what is going on? Always add an extra bit of grease here just for weather protection. Obviously you're not lubricating a sealed bearing, but it just helps keep the water out. Screw this cap on now. And then go and sit down for a bit. Oh my God. Yeah, I fixed it. Cone spanner on there and nip it up. Like that. Right, that's the bearings done. So I'll just put the cassette and the disc back on and I'm going to go and sit down for half hour, stop losing the plot. So I've got this old GT here, which is a scrap frame. It's got a massive crack down here. It's been hanging on the wall, but it's got some bearings in it. So let's try the tool on this one. It's about a 15mm. So same as the wheel, put that in there, do your 5mm Allen key till it grips hold of that. And then just wind it out again. Straight out there, look at that, piece of cake. Good. And on the other side of the frame, I'm going to break this bearing, so we've just got the outer race left in there, and then we'll see how well it works doing that. So give me a second, I'll just destroy this bearing. Turns out it's pretty much impossible to destroy a max bearing in suspension. However, I've got this free hub with a bearing that's completely collapsed, or two bearings that have completely collapsed. There's one here and one down here. So we can use it on this as well. Pop this little clip out, and then the outer race is still stuck in that free hub. Hard to show you, but trust me, it's in there. So the clip's out, so it tells you to measure the inside diameter of that. Around about 23mm. So then 23mm is here, so we need the smaller clamp, and we need 3 of the 9.5mm pins, apparently. Let's have a look. And 9.5, so it's that one there, that one there, and that one there. So we need the small size clamp. These pins will go in here. Oh my God, this is going to be so fiddly. So they'll sit in there like that. So to use this, you need to change this end piece to this end piece. So just unscrew this. Screw this in. So then you got to put this in. I'm going to take these pins out for now because it's just going to be impossible. Bear with. Screw that in the end. Again, it's a left-hand thread. And then it asks you to put these into the bearing and then tighten that Allen key bit down. But so I'm just going to unscrew this Allen key until I can see that pin, otherwise the pins just fall all the way through. And then I'll have something to rest onto now, like that. So it's basically like that. Then we've got to drop that bearing on there, undo the Allen key to expand these pins out, and then we can pull it. So they've got to go on there. This is going to be a bit fiddly, to say the least, but if it gets you out the doo-doo, then it'll be worth the hassle, that's for sure. So I think they're in the right place now. I've just got to try and tighten it down a bit more, but it's proper fiddly. So you can see that's just basically expanded into that bearing there. It's really hard to get a camera to show you, but you get the idea. And that's got hold of the inner race now, so we can pull that out. So we'll just clamp that down there, and then unscrew this pretty damn tight. It's coming there, I think. Maybe you could just push this and it does the same job, I guess. Yeah. Actually comes out easy if you're doing that one. There you go. Alright, let's get it off the tool and show you a bit clearer. So that's it basically, it's just grab the inside of that race there. It's a bit hard to focus on this, sorry, but I'm sure you get the idea now. You can see that groove in there, and that's what those pins sit into like that. expand it outwards, get a hold of it and just pull it out. Actually works really, really well. Bit fiddly to set up, but if it's your last chance and this is the only way you're going to do it, then persevere and you should be able to get it out. Pretty impressive, that. Impressive bit of kit this is, very impressive. Not the cheapest thing in the world, and yes, there's many other ways of getting bearings out, but I think in certain situations this is really going to save your bacon, or certainly save my bacon. On several occasions I can already think this would have been extremely helpful to use on. If only they make it big enough for headset bearings, that would be absolutely phenomenal. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. It was going to be a compilation of several repairs as usual, but it ended up as 2 longer ones stuck together, so I hope that's okay for you. So my plan really is keep these compilations coming pretty much every Wednesday really. Maybe some other slightly different things on other Wednesdays, but that's the plan. And then Saturday's still reserved for longer stripped down main service videos. And that's the plan, and I hope you enjoy it. If you do enjoy that and you want to see a lot more, hit that magic subscribe button, share, like, hype, all that great stuff. Anyway, thanks for your time and enjoy the rest of your day, or night, or evening, wherever you are. Thanks for watching.